The duties, privileges and rights of a Master Mason. Grand Lodge Lecture number 9. You will not find the duties, privileges and rights of a Master Mason anywhere in Freemasonry existing in list form, clearly stated and numbered, and in many words. Rather, they are scattered here and there, each in its own proper context, some in forms of symbols, others in the forms of customs, others still in the forms of law, and some are explicit, while others are only implied. I shall therefore make no effort to present you with an exhaustive catalogue of them, but instead we'll deal with them all together in a general way. A Master Mason's first duty is obviously to live and to act consistently with all the points covered by his obligation. Unless this is done, he cannot perform his other duties, nor will he be able to claim his rights and privileges. With this laid down as a foundation, we can pass on to discuss in detail a number of those duties and rights which necessarily follow. It is a Master Mason's duty, legal or moral, to pay his share of the financial costs of the fraternity, promptly, ungrudgingly, and whether in the form of dues, fees, assessments, or of voluntary appeals. He has the right to follow membership in some lodges, and it is his duty so to do. He may himself choose the lodge with which he wishes to affiliate, there being no law to compel him to join one rather than another, but he should seek membership in some lodge. Our Constitution and regulations provide that if he wilfully remains unaffiliated, he shall not be allowed to visit any one lodge more than once without an invitation. From this it follows that he has the right of affiliation. If he moves permanently to some other community, he is not required to maintain membership at a distance in his first lodge. In fact, it is desirable, in some case, to affiliate with a lodge near his new home, unless he has some very good reason, such as a life membership. Visiting in lodges in which he does not hold membership is both a right and a privilege. It is a right in the same sense that he may at will seek to gain admission into any regular lodge. It is a privilege in the sense that his admittance into some given lodge is contingent upon his being vouched for or examined, and for being permitted to enter by the worshipful master. However, if any member of the lodge may voice an objection to the worshipful master against permitting a particular visitor to enter his lodge, which is sufficient to exclude such a visitor. But if a Mason is not permitted to enter some given lodge at a certain time, the fact does not cancel his right to seek to visit it in another time, or to seek to visit any other lodge. If he seeks to visit a given lodge, he has the right to be vouched for if some member of it has sat in lodge with him, or otherwise he is willing to be responsible for his avouchment. This means that he is not compelled to undergo examination every time he seeks to visit. Masonic relief, like visiting, is both a right and a privilege. It is a right so far as every Master Mason has the lawful right to ask for it upon need, without derogation of his dignity or endangering his standing, and his asking may be of some lodge or some other Masonic Mason. On the other hand, it is a privilege in that neither lodge nor a Mason is compelled to give relief when and as requested. The lodge is not an insurance society or a death benefit association, nor is any guarantee given any member that he will receive what he asks for. Each lodge and each Mason is under obligation to heed the call for relief, but at the same time each is free to exercise judgment in giving case, whether or not to extend relief at all, and, if so, in what form. A Master Mason has the right to ask for a clearance, and if he is clear on the books, and otherwise in good standing, with no charge pending against him, the lodge must grant it. It is not compulsory that a Mason shall remain in a given lodge, for if it were, membership might be degraded into a penalty or a form of persecution, and it is allowed that one may hold his membership where he is happiest or where it is most convenient. Among the most important of all his rights is his right of trial by his peers under regulated conditions with freedom to present evidence. This assures him that no lodge can degrade him by star chamber methods, or that either his lodge or any officer or member of it can remove him out of malice or spite, or that he can be made to suffer the extremest penalties of Masonry out of idle gossip or mere hearsay. In short, the right of trial guarantees him all the securities of justice. If thought his own fault or misadventure, he is brought to trial in his own lodge, or charges of unmasonic conduct, and if he is found guilty, he has the right of appeal to higher Masonic authority. The right is his guarantee against possible injustice, more particularly against possible local prejudice, or against spiteful persecution by some private enemy. Every Mason has the right of Masonic burial. This means in practice, of course, at least usually, that it is his family that has the right of requesting this honour. This right is of more importance than it may at first appear. Imagine that a man has held membership in a lodge for many years. Imagine that without giving just cause the lodge refuses him Masonic honours at death. What will the community think? It will naturally think that some secret disgrace has attached to the dead, no only to the lodge. Both his name and his family will suffer accordingly. As for a Master Mason's privileges, they are not to be described in principle and in spirit rather than in detail. As for a Master Mason's privileges, they are to be described in principle and in spirit rather than in detail, because they vary much in detail and often depend on local conditions. He has a privilege, which also is a certain respect of right, of a voice in his lodge, a vote, and of holding office. He has also the privilege of giving Masonic service, one of the principal sources of the joy one may find in his Masonic life. Beyond these is a set of privileges which depend upon circumstances. A lodge may do things which depend on circumstances. A lodge may do things which are neither required nor prohibited by law. It may hold social affairs, give special entertainment, offer special programs, may foster some kind of Masonic education enterprise, may have a library, may maintain a bed or ward in a hospital, all of which it may do according to its abilities or the wishes of its membership. The same holds true of Grand Lodge. It also, wholly out of spirit of service and not from compulsion, offers many privileges which are open to the individual Masons as to the lodges. Membership gives no man the right to demand these things of either the lodge or of Grand Lodge, but if, thanks to the circumstances and good fortune, they are offered, each and every member has the same right to enjoy such privileges as any other. Beyond all specific duties, rights, and privileges, I have thus far enumerated these stands more general region in which all are mingled together. I refer that the whole domain of Masonry's teaching, its rituals and symbols, its history, its ideals of jurisprudence, its philosophy, its literature, the whole of it in so far as we describe as a noble art. As the noble art includes truth, ideals, and teachings, every Master Mason is under a duty to be faithful to them. It is a right to be taught that art and to have it in its fullness, none of it being reserved for a privileged few. It is his to enjoy all the privileges it offers to the spirit, the mind, and the heart. All that Freemasonry is, all that it means, all that has to give to others belongs to every individual Mason in the same way and to the same extent as all others, no one of them or any group of them having any special privileges in it whatsoever. We ask you, my brother, to bring this fact home to yourself, and to know that however onerous your duties may prove to be, or however rapidly your rights may at times appear to be regulated, all such burdens sink into nothingness by comparing it with one's privileges that a Freemasonry in all its heights and breadths and lengths and richnesses belong to you to use and to enjoy. Thank you.